Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be our fourth video in this series. In this video series, we're making the Royal Game of Ur, and in each video, we're trying to make a little bit increasingly better version. So we started out with like craft versions. We have 3 versions that are made of cardboard, not even made of wood, made of cardboard. So if you're interested in that and you haven't seen that yet, please go back and watch. I also kind of give a little explanation about the game. But today is our first one. We're moving into doing the actual woodworking. I'm still going to try to keep this very simple. I'm going to try my best to only do it with the tools you see right here. No power tools, but no guarantees. And probably either a marker or some paint. That's, I think, probably the only thing not pictured here that I'm going to use. And I'm just going to try to make the game board itself, the game pieces, and I'm going to try to make square pips, like the popsicle sticks we used before, but instead of being flat, it'd be, square, so it can kind of roll a little better. I know I mentioned something in the last video, if you saw that maybe I would do this and a 2x4 version at the same time. But as I was trying to plan that out and everything was just a little too confusing for me, so I'm just going to do one at a time. I'm going to do this one, just make the board and the pieces, and then I'm going to do the same thing in the next video, but with the 2x4, just make the board and pieces. And then I think for a third video after that, I'll come back to this board, and we'll try to take our board and we'll come up with an idea. I don't have an idea yet. But basically either build a case for it or turn the board into a box so that the pieces have somewhere to be stored. And then maybe go back and do the same thing with that 2x4 version. And who knows, maybe we will do a plywood version for a 5th video of the woodworking series. But specifically with this one, what we're going to do is that's just about a little over 5.5 right now, about 3/4. I could do a larger scale board, like almost double-sized board of those ones we were making before. We made each square. We need 3 squares by 8 squares. 3 by 8 grid. So if our 3 squares are 1.5 inches, we'd be at 5.5. So there'd only be like an extra 1/4 inch there. So one row would be like slightly larger. We'll try to space our lines out. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to go with about a 1.5 inch grid. So since we need 8 squares long, 8 by 1.5 is 12. So we need to measure 12 inches, make our square line, cut it, and that'll be okay. Alright, so I cut our game board out there. I didn't think about it ahead of time, but if I had, I probably would have tried to make sure I got this piece as our game board. It's probably not too late, but I've already marked this, so I'm not really worried about it. And just because this board has a whole lot more knots and cracks in it already, this one probably would have been better, but I'm not going to worry about it. That's what we're doing. So that's our game board. I marked off approximately 12 more inches just by eye. Maybe a little bit longer than 12 inches. But anyway, and then just use my square to hit that square line. And then I dragged my pencil every 3/4 of an inch to mark out these strips. So the plan is that one of these strips I'll then cut down into 3/4 inch cubes to be our game pieces. And I should have a little bit of spare that'll end up being trash. And then these 2 I'll just cut in half to make our 4 pips. So this is going to be a pain, but I'm going to try to do this all by hand. It won't be that bad, but definitely will be easier on the table saw. But I'm going to do it by hand because this is supposed to be our simplest one. So I'll check back in with you after that's done. It might take a while. Alright, we got our 3 pieces cut out there. Full disclosure, I did end up grabbing a circular saw. Didn't get the table saw, so it's still a pretty basic saw, but we are using a power tool at this point. I definitely could have done those strictly by hand. I did do the cross cut by hand. I got halfway through one of those rips, and I was like, man, I'm gonna cheat. I have the tool, use it. I did enough of it to prove it myself and let you guys know that it definitely is possible just to do it with your hands, but if you have the tool. So 2 of these pieces will just basically cut in half, and those will be our rolling dice. You just paint 2 sides. It could be adjacent sides or opposite sides. It literally doesn't matter. So I might do 2 of them with adjacent sides and 2 of them with opposite sides. As long as they're fairly square, it don't matter. And then this, we're just gonna cut every 3/4 inches or so until we have 14 pieces, and then 7 of them will paint or use a marker, whatever we're gonna do. Same thing we do with this, and then we just gotta draw our grid on and everything, our whole layout on the board. So getting pretty close to done here. Check back here with you after I've cut these. Alright, so we got 14 of those cut out of one of those pieces with this much scrap, enough for 2 extra pieces. Might not be a bad idea to really go ahead and cut this in half. Have 1 extra piece of each color just in case one ever got lost. It's eyeballed half length on these, and that didn't come out exactly equal length, but that doesn't matter. Just roll these like this. So being different lengths doesn't really affect the outcome of your roll. So all we got left is to draw our grid. We're going to do 1.5 inch, or 1.5 inch. That's what we did, right? Yeah, 1.5 inch off of each edge. That'll leave our shared track like just barely over. I think it was like an extra 1/4 inch. But anyway, then we'll draw lines that way. We'll have our grid, and we'll put all our patterns on there, color half the pieces, and then half the sides of these pieces. Probably going to take a lunch break. I'll come finish this when I get back from that. So I'll show you once we're done with this what it looks like. Okay, so here's all our game pieces. This set is painted on every side, and then these ones are left with no paint, natural on all sides. Then our pips, I did 2 adjacent sides on everyone. I didn't do opposite sides on any of them because I was thinking to do opposite sides I'd have to paint one side, wait for it to dry, then flip it over, do the other side. If I do adjacent sides, I can paint 2 sides at the same time. So just did adjacent sides on all of them. Theoretically, it shouldn't matter. You get a 50-50 chance on each individual piece. These are kind of big for handling and rolling, so that's all right. That's a 1. 1 again. 0. Okay, anyway, here's the board. That's the design I came up with. I didn't number the squares this time. I just painted them green. Thought maybe it could be like grass, since it's a racing game. Maybe you're racing on the grass. Then my rosettes, it's just kind of like a little flower, orange in the middle, and that kind of color for the outsides. So I just put a coat of polyurethane on top of this. I'll probably go ahead and put another one in a couple hours. But that's it. That's our finished product, other than waiting for the finish to dry. So I hope you like that. Come back and see what I do. Next I'm going to be using a 2x4. Still going to try to be pretty simple. Maybe I'll use a little more power tools, I'm not sure, but using just like scrap wood and stuff like that. So if you like it, give it a like. If you want to see more, make sure you subscribe and come back. Thanks.